guys and a gal talking about movies. Two guys and a gal talking about movies. Two guys and a gal, they're talking about movies, and you know they are really groovy. Two guys and a gal talking about movies. Two guys and a gal talking about movies. Two guys and a gal, they're talking about movies, and we know they are really groovy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Gal talking about movies. And today we will be talking about this gentleman. That's right, Samuel L. Jackson. Born Samuel Leroy Jackson in 1948. He is an acclaimed American actor. He is started his career on the stage back in the early '80s, and then he moved on to films in the around the mid '80s, starting with some small roles like in Coming to America, and then moving on to some bigger roles. And for the most part, he started his career off working with under director Spike Lee and a lot of his joints, as he likes to call them. And then he started working with Quentin Tarantino, which really pretty much catapulted him into pop icon status. But of course, more recently, what has really cemented his status as a pop icon is his work on some of the biggest franchises in film right now, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Star Wars. He's received a lot of awards. Unfortunately, he's never actually won an Academy Award for his acting. He's been nominated for several. But in 2022, he did receive an honorary award from the Academy for his work. And even though he is now 77 years of age, he is still going strong. He's still out there working and also doing a lot of humanitarian causes and things like that. And so, and also he's also known for using some very colorful language in his films as well. And a lot of actually, as I was doing some research on it, a lot of it's due to the fact that he stutters sometimes, or he had a stutter. So it just kind of popped out. So anyway, all right. So to talk about his films and his careers and a lot more, let me bring up my co-hosts. First of all, the man of 1,001 million billion voices and counting, Mr. Rory Penland, and his infamous popcorn.
I have my popcorn.
And our gal, the lady of one voice, but a very powerful voice it is, Ms. Elana Lang.
Thank you. So I'm not going to try to sound like him, although I will say that his favorite word is one of my favorite words.
Yeah, one of these days we're gonna get. Yeah, one of these days we're gonna get you
colorful language.
It's wonderful.
I can't remember the title of it, but he did a buddy film with Eugene Levy, and Eugene Levy, they made fun of that. Eugene Levy going, you don't have to say that word all the time.
He was in the actor's
You could just say fudge.
And they ask him what his favorite word is, and he's like, Mother F. And they're like, well, what's your favorite word to say on film? And he's like, Mother F. And when he said it, he's so funny. He's like, I feel like if you can swear in a way that is not swearing just for shock value, like when I was a public defender, I had to swear all the time because your clients don't take you seriously if you don't like talk like that. And they used to tease me. And so I swear constantly now. And it's like, I don't think it really makes you sound like, if you're doing it for a reason, I think it's powerful, and people like, they go along with you. And also it's a sign of intelligence.
Yeah, I've heard that. So I must be the smartest mother. Oh, no, never mind. Trying not to get us banned on YouTube.
I look like a little doll, but I sound like a sailor.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
watch
And
my,
you know,
like,
that's what we like
Sounds
about
like
you,
a
Elana.
sailor.
So, all right. Well, let's just go ahead and get rolling on this on our little dog and pony show here. And Elana, so what is your number one Samuel L. Jackson performance, movie,
before I say
whatever?
what my number one movie is, I just want to say he works always. He has done over 150 movies, and he does not like downtime.
Yep.
He wants to work always. And
Yeah.
I love this man, and I did not know how much I did until I started watching. I didn't watch any of the franchise movies. It's just not really my thing. So I watched
Yeah.
movies like outside of the franchise, and I knew that he was a good actor in like a certain kind of role, but I had no clue what an amazing actor he actually is. So I'm excited to go through some of these movies. There's a whole lot I've never even heard of before. So we'll start with number one, and I have a tie.
Okay.
I could not have number one be Unbreakable. We discussed it during our M. Night Shyamalan show, and this performance is just it it effing blew me away. It was so powerful and so good. And most of the time he's in a chair. So it's like, to get that much attention and be like limited in your movements, he throws everything at a role. You know, his eyes, his face, his voice, his, like, he said that every single role he wants to be completely different. So he changes up his hair and, you know, anything that he can. And he, like, we last time that we met, we talked about Christopher Walken. He is a good example of someone that does tons and tons of shows and yet makes everyone feel fresh. And I just have a lot of respect for him. So my other number one in the tie is Jackie Brown from 1997. He is Ordell Robbie. This is his personal favorite role, and I am a big Quentin Tarantino fan also, and I've seen this movie a number of times, but I didn't watch it to just concentrate on his performance. And he is just so electric. I think that's the most important thing. Like, 150 over 150 roles, and you're able to make each one that powerful and that electric, and that, I mean, that movie is one of, at this point, having watched it as many times as I have, it is one of my favorite movies. And his performance and the words coming from Quentin Tarantino, it's astonishing. So there you have it.
Their collaborations were always phenomenal. Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, my number one is him playing Jules in Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
and this is what catapulted him to, you know, like you said, being a household name.
Mhm.
He had done small roles, like you said. He did, Uncle Tom's Cabin. He had done Jurassic Park, but this was written for him. And what's funny was he did not get it when he did the audition the first time. And it floored Tarantino. So he said, I wrote this for you and you're not doing it right. And he said, please give me a day. Let me come back tomorrow. I'll play it just the way you want me to do it. And he came back and he nailed it on the second audition.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's really, really an incredible story because I mean, I guess this was one of their first collaborations was Pulp Fiction, and he embodies Jules. That's my number 3.
Yeah. Oh. Jules' character is just iconic. That whole scene where he's eating the guy's burger and drinking his tasty beverage. Just before he
tasty
kills
beverage.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There's
and that's the whole tone for the rest of the movie.
There's so many amazing performances in that movie too. And he outshines everybody. And he is just I remember watching it in the theater, and the first time I ever saw a Quentin Tarantino movie, I was just floored because I'm very, I study directing and writing, and you could not ask for a better person to read Quentin Tarantino's lines.
Well, and again, they have done a lot of movies together after that. That was their first collaboration, and it's a memorable one.
Yeah. Well, Pulp Fiction is my number 1. I just for all the reasons we already stated. I remember when the movie first came out, and I hadn't seen it yet, but it's like everybody was talking about it. And sometimes when a movie is kind of just hyped up like that, I'm like, it's kind of disappointing, So I finally went to see it. In fact, I went with a group of people, and holy cow, it did not disappoint. It was awesome. And I admit, I was a little lost with the whole timeline shifting and like, wait a minute, what happened? Why is this happening before this happening?
So good.
But once I watched it several times, it's like, oh, you realize how
it didn't work when they did it linear fashion. They edited it together in order, and it didn't work. So they were like, what are we going to do? This movie's not as good as I want it to be, And then he decided to flip-flop the scenes so that, you get Vincent's
from a director
before the end of the movie.
Perspective, from somebody who's studying directing, I live for non-linear movies. And he was doing it before we really got to see it. Like, I've been obsessed with movies my whole life. It's been one of the few escapes out of my personal life. And so in 1994, I was really good friends with a bunch of people that ran this, like, it used to be a movie theater, and it was like a coffee shop, movie theater, dance club. It's called it used to be called King's Court, and it was like a castle, and it was so cool, and they like made it into all these different parts. And so I was really good friends with the people there, so I got to see like all the movies first, and everybody there was like a friend of mine. I remember like we quoted the hell out of the movie while we're watching the movie, and we would just greet each other afterwards, with all of these crazy lines. And I love how he uses, parts of the Bible, especially, because I was raised Orthodox Jewish, and I've been an atheist since I was 5. So it's just like, he is able to take this thing that I would normally just think is ridiculous and give it so much power. And
Mm-hmm.
it was hard not to have this be my number one too, honestly. But then when I started watching his other movies, I was just like, oh my God, every performance is so
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
I love that he and Quentin Tarantino work together because, as I said, Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite directors. And the two of them, I mean, this movie is a cult movie. It's
Mm-hmm.
a great, example of non-linear. I could teach a class on this
Yeah.
movie, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
All right. Well, let's because I don't know what more I can say about Pulp Fiction other than what everybody else already said. Terrific performances from everybody else, from the rest of the cast. I mean, it's a great cast as well.
Oh,
Brought
it's
John
so
Travolta
good.
back to life, or jump started his career again. But yeah, Samuel L. Jackson as Jules Winfield, and I can just imagine he's still out there roaming the earth like Kane in Kung Fu.
Yeah, right. I
Uh,
mean, that's the
and
coolest part is he seems like
Yeah, he and Bruce Willis's character are the survivors,
seems
at
so
this.
yeah,
real.
yeah. Uh, and if Tarantino ever actually does his final 10th movie, and he keeps saying that he will, to me, the logical place would be to bring us all, bring it full circle and bring us back to Jules and find out what happened to him all these many years later. Is he still
And
out there?
Winston
Is he
Wolfe,
still
and yeah,
Winston
So
Wolfe?
Quentin
Yeah, yeah.
Tarantino right now is living in Israel with his Israeli wife, and they asked him if he was going to convert, and he's like, no, I don't want to be that guy. They both are just so cool. Like, if you listen to Quentin Tarantino talk or you listen to Samuel L. Jackson talk, if you have the ability to watch them both, and like, they just blow me away.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, all right. Well, Elana, what's your number two? What's your
So
second
my
movie?
number two is a movie I had no idea existed. Apparently in 2020, a movie called The Banker was made, and it is about these black men who find a white person to be the front, and they start buying up buildings because they're not actually allowed to live in certain places. And so they use their white friend as a front to build up these, to buy and build up these different buildings, whether it be okay, so it starts, they can't get a loan. So they buy the building that the banks are all in, so that suddenly they're the landlords. And it's a very interesting thing because we know that America did, there were certain places where blacks were meant to stay. And this movie is such a wonderful historical, it's based on a true story of Joe Morris. There is a bit of a controversy regarding it because one of the producers, Bernard Garrett Jr., has been accused of SA, but the actual people in the movie, of course, I checked, they don't have accusations against him. It's the producer, and they've distanced themselves from him. As I was saying earlier to my co-hosts, I don't like to watch movies of people who have, certain kinds of charges, accusations against them. So I was very careful about this movie, but this movie is just a wonderful history lesson. It really makes you understand a lot about America, because America still, I mean, you know, people don't want to see it. It's still very prejudiced and classist and, you know, all kinds of things. So this movie, I think, is an important movie. And Samuel L. Jackson is just so good in this movie. He, you know, he has to be someone who exercises some restraint, and he does to an extent, but he also just, he has this laugh that, you know, he means trouble and he's gonna get stuff done. And he, and I cannot remember the other actor right now, but they both are so good, and you find yourself just really rooting for them. And it was a great history lesson, you know. So that's my number 2.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Really, really good. I'm really, really glad I saw this. I looked through a lot of underrated lists for this.
Yeah, I missed that one somehow.
The
But
Baker,
yeah, sounds good.
and he plays
The Banker.
Joe Morris.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I love true stories
I
like
highly
that.
recommend
So
this movie.
cool. All right, Rory, what's your number 2?
I don't think it's any surprise. Unbreakable.
Mm-hmm.
That like Elana, it was kind of flip flopping back and forth. What should be number 1? What should be number 2? But Jules is just, there's something about that performance that just stays with you. And this one too, as Elijah Price, you know, who in most of the movie you just see as a kind of a comic book geek. And then it turns out, you know, you get the twist at the end, and I think everybody knows now he's the supervillain. I don't think I'm spoiling that because everybody pretty much knows now after the 3 films that came out. Yeah. But yeah, Elijah Price is a very nuanced role, and I like the trilogy. I really do. I like M. Night Shyamalan's.
Me too.
Split.
I like the three characters. Yeah, Split and
Glass. Is it Glass?
And Glass. Who's the actor that plays the Split character?
Oh my God. James McAvoy. I love him.
James McAvoy. Yeah.
Oh my God, what a performance!
Professor
when
X.
you see him and anything else, you're just like,
yeah, I love.
Wow,
James.
it's the same guy. Wow.
Yeah,
and it's again a multifaceted performance, a la Sybil. You know, he has many different personalities, which is also interesting. But again, you have Elijah Price in all of it, and he is just evil. You know, because he was dished a terrible disease that breaks his bones so easily that he just decides, you know, I'm going to get back at humanity in my own way. And comic books really messed his mind up.
You know, it's funny because I'm really not a comic book person, and that's also why, like, I'm not a franchise person or comic book person, so that's why I kind of stayed away from like Star Wars and Iron Man and all those other ones. But there's
the movies came first
really
before
special.
the comics and Star Wars.
I'm sorry?
I said the movies came first before the comic books and Star Wars and the cards and the action figures and
yeah, I don't know. I just I don't really keep up with that, I guess. But there's something about this trilogy that, even though it is kind of that genre, that it's just so much more.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it feels more realistic than, you know, comic book situations and heroes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
I was going to say that. Yeah.
They don't dress
Shyamalan,
in superhero, you know, elastic and spandex.
Which I have to say, though, he was in the Untouchables, and I love the Untouchables. Do you guys remember him as Frozone and the I'm sorry.
Incredibles.
The Incredibles.
Oh, the Incredibles.
The
Incredibles.
Right,
I'm like, the Untouchables. The Incredibles.
Sorry,
Yeah.
The Incredibles.
I don't remember him in the Untouchables.
No, there's a good reason for that.
It would have been, The
I do
Incredibles,
remember
yeah.
working.
Where's my
The
super suit?
Incredibles.
Where's my
That's
super
what I
suit?
meant.
Woman,
So
where's
good.
my super suit?
The Untouchables.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Not
The
in that
Incredibles
movie.
is wonderful.
Oh,
It's on my
Yeah.
list.
so wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, Unbreakable is
Well,
my number 2.
okay. Well, interestingly enough, my number 2 is also Unbreakable, and for all the same reasons. Uh, Elijah, Mr. Glass, is, yeah, I know he turns out to be the villain, but he's such a tragic hero. I mean, you can't help
Yeah.
but feel like, oh, this guy's been given such a tough break,
Yeah.
and of course, people like me and Rory, and I'm a huge comic book geek, as everybody knows. When I saw Unbreakable and saw that it was, I mean, it is a comic book movie, even though it wasn't, based on any comic book, but you could just see the love of comic books in this movie, and just the whole idea of, the polar opposites. You have the most fragile man, so there has to be somebody who is unbreakable, which is the Bruce Willis character. I didn't know Split was going to be part of a trilogy until, of course, you get the post-credit sequence with the Willis character, and then Glass, which I got to say, Glass disappointed me a little bit. It could have been a little bit better, but it was still good. I mean, all 3 movies, I think Split is probably the best one of the 3, but that's just my opinion. But as far as
also, is Glass actually, because I was disappointed by Glass too. Is Glass actually disappointing, or is Glass disappointing when you have watched these 2 movies that are so absolutely insanely good? Glass is not at that level.
That's exactly it. You look at Unbreakable, you look at Split, and Glass just kind of felt like he played it safe, like it just became a conventional superhero movie, but without the costumes. Especially toward the end. Not that there was anything wrong with that. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but when you start comparing, but as the finale of this trilogy, it just doesn't compare to Unbreakable.
And
then
you expect Glass to
3 movies
be...
in,
my expectation would be that Glass would be the best of the 3, and so
yeah,
it kind of
you would
let you
hope.
down
You would have
because of
hoped.
that, and then it kind of lets you down because it's not.
I think she was trying to say, was it upsetting to you that it was all over? That you knew it all ended, or was it actually the production itself that bothered you?
I think part of it is that it was all
and
over.
it's just
That
not
these
as good
characters
as
were
the
done.
first 2.
Yeah. I think just story wise. Again, it
you
just
want
felt
it
like
to be
okay.
this, like Jewel, that's the best thing you've ever seen, because you just watch these movies that are like blow you out of the water, and then that movie just doesn't rise to that
it just
level.
kind of exactly. She explained it. She explained it very well. Thank you, Elana.
That's
exactly.
really how I felt about it, especially because I'm not a comic book person, and so I couldn't really hold on to that element of it. And I was like, oh, I expected this to be, well, I mean, after Unbreakable and Split, your expectations are so through the roof that when you see a movie that is pretty good,
but
under
I think what
circumstances,
it was, I mean, the first part of it, when they're all locked up in the institution or whatever, that was great. And but towards the end, when it just kind of became a comic book movie, when you had the big battle at the end, and I should have expected that. I mean, of course you're going to have to, the confrontation at the end with the beast and all that, but it's just it I don't know, it's a little bit of a letdown. Doesn't
Yeah.
make it a bad movie. I still enjoy it. I still like it. Just not as much as the other two. And that's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's move on to number 3. Elana, what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is Pulp Fiction. And
Okay.
yeah, I think I already said it was really hard not putting it in the number 1.
Yeah.
My number 3 is a tie, and I'm going to cheat here by saying character names instead of movie names, and that's Nick Fury and Mace Windu. This
Okay.
way we
All right.
threw all of those movies into number 3 as I love the characters of Mace Windu. He didn't even know he was going to be a Jedi when they first cast him. He learned when he went to wardrobe and they gave him a Jedi robe. And he's like, "Really? You gonna make me a Jedi?" And then they asked him what color lightsaber he wanted.
Oh, I love that.
He totally freaked. It's like, I get to pick my own color.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Mace Windu is the only one that has a purple lightsaber in the Star Wars films. But Nick Fury too, another fantastic, great character.
Oh,
and as we know, Nick Fury in the comic books was not black, but you know, he made it his own.
Yeah.
And
well,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, interesting story about that is Marvel put out a series called The Ultimates, or which is like an alternate version of their top heroes. And the artist who drew Nick Fury deliberately drew him based on Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
he made him look like Jackson.
There you go.
But without his permission. But when Jackson found out about it, he went to Marvel and said, "If you guys make a movie, with the Avengers, I better be Nick Fury because you already made him look like me. I got to be him." And so when they said, "Yeah, fine," and that's how that came about, and that's why we got Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
There you go.
In the Marvel universe.
So yeah, just very endearing characters. I love all of his work in those movies, and that's why they're number 3.
They all. Oh my God, you did cheat.
I cheated like a MF.
Every single movie of his, all 150, are like amazing. So how can you not cheat when you're trying to find 5?
Again, yeah. When you're trying to narrow it down to 5, it's with this kind of canon of films. Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah. So,
yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to number. We're going to.
Your number 3.
Actually, we're number 3.
Yeah,
number 3.
My number 3 is Die Hard with a Vengeance, where he is the cab driver character that becomes involved in this elaborate scheme that Jeremy Irons puts up as the new villain, who turns out to be the brother of Hans Gruber from the first movie. But again, wonderful performance. Great to see Jackson and Willis acting together again since Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And just I really enjoyed his performance. And again, it's very grounded. He plays just not a superhero. He's not a cop. He's not. He's a taxi driver, and just an everyday guy who gets caught up in this crazy scheme. But proves to be the hero. Proves to be a hero at the end, and that is really my favorite of the Die Hard. If you want to call it a franchise or the sequels to that, it's just them two together, just kind of ripping off each other, and the whole plot. The plot in these movies are almost secondary. It's the characters that make the movie, and I just really liked the chemistry between the two and their performances. And it's just one, like I said, just one of my favorite of the Die Hard, or my favorite of the Die Hard movies. So that's my number 3.
Okay.
So let's move on to number 4.
Okay. My number 4 is another one. So Samuel L. Jackson, I was listening to him speak, and I was watching interviews with him, and he has 5 of his movies that are his favorite. So I decided I should watch those movies, because if they're his favorite, then I should know about them. So I don't think I have all 5, but as I had said, one was Jackie Brown. Another one of his favorite is a movie I had never heard of called 187 from 1997. And I do want to give a warning for people who are against dead animals in movies, because I can't handle that. You can kill all the people, but not the dogs. An hour
That's right.
there is a dead dog. So I wish that every movie came with a warning about that. So I given my own warning. An hour in.
Don't watch Vampire in Brooklyn.
He plays Mr. Garfield. This movie is kind of like an after-school special. It's about this guy who is a teacher, and he has a rough time because he's in like super rough school, and he angers one of his students, and they stab him. And he has a lot of time to get over this, and he goes back to teaching after, he's well enough to. And everybody, like, he is every teacher's hero because he went back even after he was stabbed. But, it sounds like an after-school special. What makes this movie, and I'm sure why it's one of his favorites, is because his performance is definitely no after-school special performance. His performance is as if he were playing this role in the most serious, intense, like big budget thrillers you could see, and he plays it with such range. And you think about that. Okay, so if we take that kind of out of the after school context, he's playing a teacher who is so devoted to teaching that they go back to teaching after being stabbed by one of their students. And they are going back into basically like hell at another school. And they have a reputation at this point. And the reputation, often works against him because his weaknesses have been identified. So the students are definitely taking advantage of that. He is just so gentle at times. And then, menacing at times. It is wonderful to see I guess all I can say is the amount of range that he has. And this is a stellar performance.
Interesting. Okay.
So 187.
187 from 1997.
Okay.
I mean, it's a quick watch, right? Because it's like an after school special, but his performance will blow you away.
All right.
Okay.
Rory, what is your number 4?
Number 4 is Lucius Best, aka Frozone in The Incredibles.
Love.
Totally Samuel L. Jackson, even though it's a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good in both movies, as Frozone.
Oh, so good.
But the first one, with the wife hiding the super suit is wonderful. It's just delightful.
Mm-hmm.
And him, where is my super suit? Woman!
Why do you need it?
It's so wonderful. And
you are not ruining my dinner party.
Oh, so good.
as they're watching a giant robot go by.
Yeah.
Brad Bird started his career. I mean, really, the first big step he got was he did The Family Dog on the Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories. And it's a wonderful little short if you haven't seen it. And it spawned a TV show, but the TV show was not near as good as that short that he did, which was about a 22-minute short about the family dog. And it's got Stan Freberg as the voice of the father. It's just got a lot of good stuff going for it, and wonderful, wonderful, delightful movie, short movie. And then he did The Incredibles, and it's like, wow, this guy, he can handle big time. That's a 2-hour cartoon. That's a 2-hour animated film.
Didn't Iron Giant come first?
Yes, after Family Dog, but before The Incredibles.
Okay. Yeah, because that is one of my favorite movies. That is such a good movie, and of course, The Incredibles are like.
But he actually plays Edna Mode, the director, in those films, and he's actually gone on to direct like Mission Impossible. He directed one of the Mission Impossible movies. Oh, wow. He's actually gone on to direct actual movies that weren't cartoons. So
yeah, he deserves a nod. Really amazing. I guess that's the thing is like not only does Samuel L. Jackson work constantly and make his characters so different, but he is able to connect with people so that you do get, these amazing like twosomes. I can't think of the word, but like him and Brad Bird and him and Quentin Tarantino. Like he just, and of course they want to continue doing it because
everybody loves to work with him. Yeah.
Yeah. He elevates
he's one of those people that everybody loves to work with. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I want to go hang out with him. I loved watching his actor's studio. I totally want to go, I don't know, go some drinks with him.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I think that's the thing.
But
that some actors, you can tell some actors are, they're a little full of themselves. They get that little ego thing going of, oh, I'm a star. I don't get that sense from Samuel L. Jackson. All the interviews that I've seen of him.
He's just happy to be working. Yeah.
Loves working. And he's been through a lot of rough stuff. I mean, he was addicted to crack. He he was very ashamed because he wasn't being the his family is very important to him, so he said he wasn't being the person that he knew they needed, and so he cleaned up his act and he just threw himself into his acting, and he is just he's a very smart, he's very much himself, and he just has an incredible work ethic and loves what he does to such an extent that in his family are his life, and that's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now we were talking about him not being good for television because he likes to say MF all the time. There is an episode of Saturday Night Live where they were doing the "What's Up with That" thing, and he was the guest along with Robert De Niro, and he slipped and said MF on live television on Saturday Night Live on the East Coast. They were able to dub it, blurb over it for the West Coast, but he said it on live television. They got nicked for it.
Yeah.
Hey, if you gotta get fined for something.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's the other thing too, is like he gets along with everybody, like everybody respects him, everybody wants to work with him, everybody I mean his work ethic is inspirational. There's just a lot about him that I think I didn't appreciate until, you know, we're watching this. And honestly, I finished prepping for the show like within 3 days after last show, because I didn't want to go anywhere. I just wanted to watch everything about him all the time. And yeah, being in his world is not a bad place to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was your
Well,
number?
my number 4 is Jackie Brown,
Mm-hmm.
the
My
which
number
is
one.
basically the follow up to yeah, it's your number 1. Um, and I it's another great performance. But again, great performances all the way around. But
Yeah.
like Elana said earlier, his performance in that was just riveting. I mean, really, and uh, Tarantino is well known and best known for his dialogue, and to hear his dialogue coming from Samuel L. Jackson is a treat. I mean, it is almost Shakespearean in its brilliance. And when he's trying to sell the AK-47, it's like, when you need to kill every last MFer in the room, AK-47.
Pam
And
Grier is so good also.
yes,
And
yes.
I think there's something to be said about that working relationship and how both of them are able to like be on the same level. There's such a strength in both of their performances. And then Quentin Tarantino, the three of them are just, it's just so dynamic, and you feel like, you're I felt very involved. This is not, these are not movies that you just sit back and watch. Like his movies are movies that I feel like, because of the energy he brings, you bring a certain amount of energy to it too.
Yeah. And yeah, funny that you mentioned Pam Grier. That movie kind of brought her back. I mean, it was Tarantino's love letter to 70s blaxploitation movies, and also just like film noir and a lot of that. Sitting on my court there, and Robert Forster. He kind of vanished for a while and brought him back. He's played the private eye, and of course, well, we have a performance from De Niro, which oddly enough, it's the only movie that he's ever done with Tarantino, and Bridget Fonda, of course, she was terrific in that as well. But yeah, Pam Grier and Samuel L. Jackson, they are that movie, and it's just terrific. And unfortunately, it's not ever ranked very high as one of Tarantino's. In fact, it didn't do really well at the box office because everybody was expecting another Pulp Fiction. But I thought it's terrific. I think it's one of his best movies.
That movie is definitely underrated.
It's very underrated. Yeah.
I didn't even see it until we did the Quentin Tarantino show. And I'm really surprised because, as I said, like I saw everything when I was in college because of my relationship with people that ran this, movie theater, bar, dance club place. And I was really surprised I hadn't seen it yet. And I saw it and I looked at my notes from that show and I was like, this was number 3, because now this is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah. All right. So what's your number 5 then?
Okay, so my number 5 is Eve's Bayou from 1997. He
Okay.
plays Louis Batista. And again, this is a movie that, you know, talk about a treasure of underrated films. He has all of these, you know, underrated films that he has big parts in, that his performances are absolute. I mean, this guy does not ever give a bad performance. And there are
Nope.
these movies from like, I don't know, the 90s, the mid to late 90s that don't get as much attention because of his impact with Quentin Tarantino at the time. But he has, you know, starring roles, and he plays them like you don't even know that he's in this movie. Like if you saw a trailer for this movie, you wouldn't really necessarily think it's him because it's just him being a completely different person. But when you think about him coming from stage, he is actually, you know, very, very, I mean, he's a real serious actor. And Eve's Bayou is a really good, it's a Southern Gothic drama. Told by the perspective of a 10-year-old narrator who's his daughter. And the movie deals with people living in Louisiana. It deals with voodoo. It deals with some supernatural things. Basically, he's a doctor who is a womanizer, and what that does to his wife and his daughters, because he loves them so much, but he just can't control himself. And somehow, you know, a role that I think would be pretty detestable to a feminist, he's able to, it is definitely not a caricature. It is such a detailed person that, you know, I felt bad for him. And I was empathetic towards a type of character that I normally would not be. And I have a ton of honorable mentions, you know, of movies similar to this, where you just, people at the time didn't even know he was in this movie. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, he shows
really
up in all kinds of, All right, well, before we get to honorable mentions, Rory, what's your number 5?
It's a tie. Two other Quentin Tarantino films. He played Steven in Django Unchained, and he played Major Marquis Warren in The Hateful Eight. And he's phenomenal in that.
good movies.
Just a great performance, as you expect, in a completely different genre. So again, they're both westerns, and some might say that Stephen is a bad character because he's kind of a step and fetch, and you know he listens to his master, and but he gets his comeuppance, you know, from Django at the end of the film. Again,
it's a really incredible role. Like that, when I saw that, it's just a very it works on a lot of different levels, and it's an amazing role.
So that's my number 5. What's your number 5?
Number 5. This is going to be maybe a little bit, I don't know, but I love Kingsman: The Secret Service. First one.
He is a great villain in that as Valentine. It's on my honorable mention list.
Great.
He is so nasty in that.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. What is the movie?
It's called Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Kingsman: The Secret Service. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's based on a graphic novel series. So it is a comic book movie, so to speak. In the comic book is just called The Secret Service. But Colin
Firth,
right? Thank
Thank
you.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say Colin Farrell, but it's like no. Colin Firth
that's the other guy.
is in it as the hero, and Taron Egerton. But Samuel L. Jackson is so good at playing villains. And
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, this one doesn't. I mean, it doesn't rise to the level of Elijah Price in Unbreakable, mind you,
Mm.
or some of his other villainous roles. But it's very cartoony and over the top, and that's what makes it so fun. And he's got this weird little lisp that he does, which he said he basically based it on somebody that he knew who kind of talked that way. And he thought it would be kind of just funny to or different, but he's basically supposed to be kind of a James Bond type villain, just weird and over the top, and
Very
has all
corrupt.
kinds, very corrupt, cruel, and has this world, this crazy a plot that he's unleashing on people. And but it's just a fun. Sometimes, like I said, I love just fun action movies, and this one was really well done. A lot of great action scenes. There's a scene with Colin Firth in this church where he just goes crazy on all these, like, kind of culty church members, and just wipes the floor with them. And then there's this great scene afterwards, because Jackson has developed, or this character has developed, this kind of mind control gas or thing. I forget exactly what it was. And Fritz character walks out. He's kind of the James Bond type character. And there's Jackson has a scene, or afterwards he walks out of the church and he meets up with Valentine, with Jackson's character, and he says, well, normally, in these spy type movies, this would be the part where I tell you my evil plot, but this ain't that kind of movie. And just pulls out a gun and shoots the guy.
Shoots him right in the eye.
Shoots him
The
right
hero.
in the eye, right in the head.
It is such a shocking moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, it sounds good.
Yeah. And believe it or not, there's a sequel to the movie, and it turns out he survived. But for the rest of that movie, you think he killed the good guy. He killed the guy that was supposed to save the world.
Exactly. Yeah. No. But the sequel, not quite as good.
No.
The Golden Circle.
It did have Elton John.
Get there. But it did have Elton John, and that was such
Elton John's in it.
Elton John is in the he's in the sequel.
Does he have a cameo, or is he actually in it?
It's kind of an extended cameo. It's kind of towards the end. It's an extended
cameo. That's a good way to put it.
But he's
in it. He's an important part of it. But
that's fun.
Yeah. But it's a fun. Yeah. They're both fun movies. The first one is the better movie, but and Mark Strong is in it. Well, he usually plays a villainous character. This one he's more of the good guy.
Yeah.
And Anthony Hopkins is in the sequel. And he's also very good. But anyway, but Samuel L. Jackson just made that movie so much fun. It's so good. And I really enjoyed his performance in that. So anyway, I just had number 5 was a hard one for me. Like, which one? I mean, it's so many good choices. But then
so
kept coming back to that one. Kept coming back to that one. It's like, yeah, the heck with it. That's going to be my number 5.
I changed my list so many times.
So
many times. It is so hard to make that. And then I did what Rory did, and I had a tie on every single one. And then I was like, okay, let's fine tune this, and we'll just have a lot of honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
all right. Well, then, yeah. Well, let's get on to some honorable mentions then. Elana, you said you had a few.
So let's do Spike Lee's honorable mentions first. I have Do the Right Thing from 1989, and he was Senior Love Daddy. And this movie is one of Spike Lee's early movies. I remember seeing it when I was growing up, and I don't think I completely appreciated it in 1989. I would have been 15, but I appreciated the hell out of it now. You know, Spike Lee is just an amazing director, and having Samuel L. Jackson in there, he's basically the conscience of, I mean, in both movies. The other movie I'll be talking about is Chirac from 2015. He plays, he pretty much is like the conscience through a narrator's perspective who's overlooking things. In the first movie, he runs the radio station and he tells us different things that are going on. I kind of don't want to give these movies away because I think in today's society, I think it's really important for people to be watching Spike Lee movies. And it's a really, Do the Right Thing is just such an important movie. It broke ceilings for so many different people. Chirac is a personal favorite of mine because it is actually a retelling of Aristophanes' Lysistrata. I am a sucker for Greek theater, and a modern day Lysistrata. So basically, Lysistrata is that the men are making the women really angry. So the women go on a sex fast. Like, no, I don't know if I can say this, but
boycotting
no PUSSY until there's PACE.
There you go.
And it is just and that is what Lysistrata is. The men are at war and the women withhold sex to make the war end. And they are successful in the Aristophanes play. And Chirac is just, it is a wonderful telling of it. They use some, like, the way that they're speaking is often from either like a black slang kind of way or a Greek tragedy kind of way. Well, I guess this is technically one of the comedies. And the words are just amazing, and Spike Lee has done such a beautiful job of creating this like melting pot within both of those movies and what the dangers are. And it just brings up so many questions that are so relevant for today's, it's been going on today. And I highly, highly recommend it. Chirac, especially the shy part, is Chicago inner city. I don't know if it still is, but it has been known as Chirac because your chances of dying are like really, really high. There's so much violence. There's so much corruption. There's so much crime. And the women get upset and they're like, we don't want to see our babies being, caught in the crossfire. A lot of, innocents are dying. And I think, the best I can say is that I think that everybody should see Spike Lee movies right now. Another honorable mention I have is another one of Samuel L. Jackson's favorites, and that is Long Kiss Goodnight with Geena Davis, who I always like seeing Geena Davis in movies. Unfortunately, she has been cast in fewer and fewer movies. She said when she turned 40, the phone kind of stopped ringing. But I have seen some ads of her being in movies that are coming up, so I'm happy about that. The Long Kiss Goodnight is pretty much a fun action movie. about a woman who doesn't know, she has amnesia, she doesn't remember who she is, and Mitch Hennessy is the character played by Samuel L. Jackson, and he helps her. And it is, I love action movies when, you know, there's some feminine touch to it, and this is super, super fun. Another one.
It was directed by her husband at the time, right? Rennie Harlan.
Oh, I didn't look into that.
Yeah, who was known for his action films.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super fun. Another honorable mention I have is one I saw when it came out, and it blew me away, called Changing Lanes from 2002. That is with Ben Affleck. And it's basically a movie about an accident that Ben Affleck's character causes, and Samuel L. Jackson's character he is facing a custody battle, and due to the accident, he loses, you know, custody, and his day just becomes awful. So he basically tortures the person that did this to him, Ben Affleck's character, and the two of them, you know, it's like Samuel L. Jackson's character tries to be nice, and he sees that Ben Affleck's character is just a horrible person, and so he goes on to torture him, and there's a file that he needs for court, and it's super intense, and the performances are great. What else? Oh, The Kill Room from 2023 is a very fun movie. It's basically about criminals laundering money through a gallery, and the gallery is owned by Uma Thurman. And so it's nice to see her in a movie also. And his character is the Black Dreidel. He's like this Orthodox Jewish badass, which is incredible. And my number one honorable mention, which I really wanted to be in my top 5 and is actually a really good movie despite what I was expecting, is Snakes on a Plane from 2006.
Yeah.
It is gross. It is so gross. I don't like flying, and I'm not looking forward to flying because the snakes, I mean, it's like a horror movie. It's a horror action movie. And Samuel L. Jackson is
a horror action movie.
Oh my God. It is so disgusting, and it is so exciting, and he is so incredible. And then there's like this stewardess that, you know, he falls in love with, and it just has everything. And I love the name, and I'm expecting it to be this horrible movie, but I really want it to be in my top 5. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh my God, they have such an awareness of what this movie is and what it's supposed to do, and that it's supposed to be fun. And when he says, like, he just saves his line until the perfect spot, and then he says, I am so fed up with these MFing snakes on this MFing plane, and he loves that line, and you can tell he is savoring these words, and it is just, it is way better than I ever would have imagined. It's so great. It's so campy, and yet, you know,
I hate snakes, so I've never seen it. I know I would be horrified.
You know, like, yeah, it was such a joke between my friends, and I never watched it because I'm like, yeah, this has got to be a bad movie, right? But like it's not. Like, they know that it's a B movie, and they Oh, Kenan Thompson is in it. He's really great too. He actually pilots the plane based on his 2,000 hours of playing a pilot in like one of these online community games. It's just, and he does. He like lands them, and you're just like so hyped up through this whole movie.
That's
It
funny.
is.
Well, now that you said
Whatever.
Kenan
It's a
Thompson's in it,
tie
I might
for
have to break
number
down and
one.
watch it.
It should be a tie for number one. So good. Like, it is gross. If you don't like to fly, it is going to bother you.
Mm.
But
Or snakes.
watch
Or
it.
snakes.
It's so worth it.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of like the snakes coming out of victims' mouths and stuff.
Oh, that was the problem. Like a snake will just like jump in someone's eye, and I'm like, ew. Or, like,
Yeah, so
really gross. And
nightmare
you know, I'm
fodder.
just like, what am I doing? And then I'm like, this is really, really an effing good movie.
Because it's got Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he knows exactly how to play it.
Mhm.
And it is so good.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rory,
I'm
what's
going to
your
go
list?
through my honorable mention list real fast. Arnold in Jurassic Park, great part, even though it's small. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Deep Blue Sea has the absolute best death scene with Samuel L. Jackson. It's about smart, intelligent sharks that have been bred to be intelligent. And he's giving a speech, a heroic speech, and a shark jumps out of the water and jumps him. It's a great death scene. The Triple X, he plays the M character in that, Agent Augustus Gibbons. Kingsman, the Secret Service. Valentine is a sinister villain. Kong Skull Island. Preston Packard is the modern day Captain Ahab. He wants to kill Kong. There's all through that movie. He just wants to kill Kong. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which is a Tim Burton film, and he plays Baron, who is a really wickedly evil, child-killing villain. Yeah, he's just really, really spooky and sinister in that. The Negotiator is another good character from him. He plays a guy who's holding people hostages because of his son, and needs like medical help, and there's no other way he can think of to, get people's attention, so get help for his son. And of course, he's going to be known for Snakes on the Plane.
So good.
These M. Evans snakes on a plane. I have a dishonorable mention. He does have a bad performance under his belt.
What?
He does.
Shocking.
It's a movie so bad that nobody talks about it usually, and it's The Spirit.
I never heard of it.
Are you with me on this, Manny?
Yes. Unfortunately,
it is a comic book movie, and it is a horrible, horrible comic book movie. He redeemed himself by doing Unbreakable. It was an early one, and it's one of those movies where they actually try to make it through CGI look like a comic book, and it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Bad direction, bad writing. He tries to make the best of what he's got in it. He plays the villain. It's one of his first nods as a villain. But even he can't save it. It's just so bad.
Wow, this must be a terrible movie if even he can't save it.
Terrible movie. It really is. It's a movie that if I watched it in the movie theater, I would have probably gotten up and walked out. And I don't do that.
Wow.
I've only done that once, and that was Bo Derek's Bolero. I walked out of that one. Yes, it was so bad. I just walked out. I went, I'm not going to watch this anymore. God.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's the dishonorable mention. Don't watch The Spirit.
I'm not going.
It's not even bad that it's so bad that it's good. It's just bad.
Wow.
It's just bad. Yeah. I feel you, man. As big a comic book fan as I am, that one was like, oh, why? And see, and again, when you get egos involved, that's when things go very, very south. The guy who directed it is a guy named Frank Miller, who is a comic book artist and a writer. He
Yeah, I know that
wrote.
name. Did he do Sin City?
Yeah, I was
I
just going
think
to say
he
he
did,
wrote Sin City.
except Sin City was much better.
Yeah, because that was
I
Robert
knew the
Rodriguez,
guy.
and he wrote a comic, and he wrote helped with the script and everything, and he said, well, if these guys can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the Spirit has been around for years and years and years. Is considered one of the best comic book ever,
Noir.
in a noir thriller. And he said, well, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it in the style of Sin City, since that was so popular and so great. And
Yeah, that was actually good. I
yeah,
saw Sin City. It was a good movie,
he
even if you don't
kind
like comic.
of yeah he oh yeah, he missed the mark on that one. It was definitely style over substance, and even that wasn't really all that good. And yeah, Samuel L. Jackson even more over the top, but not in a good way. Uh,
Miller
and
is
had
actually best known for bringing Batman back with Dark. I can't remember if it was
Dark Knight
Batman Year
Returns.
One or The Dark Knight Returns. That's it.
Dark Knight Returns.
Where he brought
Yeah.
Batman back in his middle age, and the Joker comes
Mhm.
back when he realizes Batman is back, and it's very dark.
Mhm.
And this was before they started making Michael Keaton dark Batman
Right.
films, and
Yeah.
so yeah, Miller is known for that.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well,
I have three
mention.
documentaries.
Well,
If
let
I
me.
have an honorable
Well,
mention, and all
well,
three of them are related to Samuel L. Jackson.
okay. Well, my honorable mentions. I think everybody's already mentioned them, except I gotta give a shout out to Black Snake Moan.
Oh, so
Uh,
good.
he
Such a
plays an old
phenomenal
blues
movie.
man who basically he there's this girl played by Christina Ricci who is just wild. She's just very
Yeah.
sexually active and just crazy. And he basically chains her up in his house and tries to straighten her out. And just it's basically just them two. It's basically just a two character play essentially.
Yeah,
But
great movie.
Jackson, of course, great, and Christina Ricci, coming off of the Addams Family. In those movies, she's terrific. In Long
Mhm.
Kiss Goodnight, great. Miss Peregrine's School. A little disappointing because I read the book and the movie just really didn't do it justice. But Samuel was great as Jackson was great as the villain.
Mm.
Of course, The Avengers and Star Wars. We mentioned that.
Mhm.
Shaft. He did a version of Shaft.
Mm.
It's a kind of a sequel to those movies. And in fact, they brought back Richard Roundtree as the original Shaft, and he played like his nephew or something. But I thought that
Mm.
was pretty good. I mean, it's not one of his best movies, certainly, but I thought it needed a mention. And Deep Blue Sea for the death scene alone. But still a still a good movie on its own. Uh, but yeah. So anyway, okay. So those are my honorable mentions. And Elana has some. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to take you off screen there. I believe you have some
Documentaries.
documentaries you want to talk about.
Okay, so the first
I
one
don't. I don't have
is
one today.
that's okay. I have three of them related to him. So if we don't
Okay.
want to do ones outside of that, that's fine. Um, the first one I made mention of already, the Actors Studio. It is season
Mm,
8, episode 15. The next one
mark that
is
down.
his 2023 biography, Samuel L. Jackson, Did I Stutter? And that is because, yeah, he had a stutter that he doesn't have when he's acting. And he did something that I was not able to find all 6 episodes of the docu-series. It's called Enslaved. Basically, what he does is he goes and they go into the water and they dredge up boats, old slave ship boats, and we learn about he is an his ancestors were slaves, and so he confronts a number of issues. I believe each of the 6 deals with something different, and they figure out what occurred at the time by resurrecting, I guess, or digging up these boats and studying them to find out what conditions would have been like, and to bring our country is not very good at reflecting or investigating, it's really horrible history of slavery. And so it's amazing that he goes through with the diving team and brings a number of things to light. I was only able to find a few episodes on YouTube. So if you look up Enslaved Samuel L. Jackson, you will find some. I think I watched 2 of them and then parts of a third one. They were really well done. The only problem is the material, of course, is very intense and very difficult to confront. So I'm extremely glad that they did this docu-series. And I think that especially in our current, what we're going through currently, it is more important to educate ourselves about, the horrors of America, and past horrors repeat themselves. So I highly recommend people watching whatever they can find of this documentary. Again, it's Enslaved.
Okay.
Those are my documentaries.
I have one.
Okay.
For the longest time I thought it was candy coated. It's called Sugar Coated. It's a 2015 Canadian documentary, and it basically and it doesn't say here who the guy is that's actually responsible for it. But let me see if I can find that information. But it's a 1 hour and 30-minute documentary on how the sugar industry basically sold out the world, and they created over 20 names, alternate names for sugar. So when you read a label of something you're consuming, it has 3 or 4 doses of sugar in it under different names usually. And this is the reason why obesity is going through the roof, why diabetes is, you never heard about diabetes from the 50s or the 60s, but in the 70s, it started to rear its ugly head. And that's because in the 60s and 70s, the sugar industries, they were doing their job, understood, but they knew that they were selling us out for money. And again, there is so much sugar in items now because they're continuing it. So yeah, it's called Sugar Coated, and I think you can find it on YouTube. It's a riveting documentary. It starts out with a guy saying, he does talks around the world, about this, and he says, you won't think twice about giving your kid a Coke, a soda. But, you wouldn't let them eat, think of something that's got a lot of sugar in it, like a piece of cake or something, because you don't want them to, but you'll give them a Coke, which has got like 3 cups of sugar in it.
Well, and not just
Stuff
sugar,
like that.
it has corn. I personally just made the switch to Mexican Coke, I think is what they call it, because it has sugar, and sugar is actually not bad for you. Corn syrup, and there's some kind of bark that is actually sugar, and like there are a ton of different names, and there are so many of these things put in every
No.
piece of candy. Like, you really have to read labels. It's, you know, you don't even, I wish I could remember what it was. It was like something bark and something syrup and something like, it's just so many different
high
things.
fructose corn syrup.
Corn syrup is just plain sugar. That's what it is. It's liquefied, you know, and that's one of them. But there's all kinds of other names.
Corn syrup actually, like, okay, so I'm completely addicted to Coke. And my husband and I switched me because, you know, I have a number of illnesses right now. I feel so much better since we switched to Mexican Coke than when I was drinking regular Coke. So there's something about corn syrup versus sugar. Like, I'm addicted to sugar. I've always been completely addicted to sugar, but
so am I, but I'm type 2 diabetic. I take insulin before I go to bed.
yeah, see, I fortunately, I'm very lucky. I don't have a problem. And, you know, but I know, well, I do have one problem because people with advanced liver disease, they sugar hoard. And so I have no problem with eating candy or whatever, but you have to be so careful. Like, I try so hard to stay with just sugar and not with like these 12 different things that, I mean, they make you feel worse. If you just have some sugar, it's not a big deal. Like, I've been eating sugar my whole life, but even corn syrup, it makes you feel different. You can feel this interacting in your body in a different kind of way. And maybe that's because I have advanced liver disease. Maybe that's how other people feel. I can't really be the judge of that.
When you're a diabetic, you crave sugar. When you see it, it's very hard to turn it down. If there's chocolate in the house, forget it. I'm going for it.
When I
again, I shouldn't,
sick,
and I know I shouldn't.
When I first got sick, I would eat like literally cases of gummy bears. Like, normally,
and that's all sugar.
Well, and I would eat it in like 2 days because I was so sick and my liver was so compromised that you can't not eat sugar. And now I have Coke, but I don't really eat anything else. I don't really eat sugar too much. I try to eat like just dark chocolate, like over 70%. So there's not that much sugar in it. And I'm able to do that. But yeah, when your liver is not functioning properly, you sugar hoard.
Yeah. Anything that comes into my house that's sweet, for me, including beverages like Coke and Pepsi, they got to be zero sugar. So
and interesting because that dredges up a whole bunch of other problems. You know, I can't have any fake sugar because I can actually taste it. And it tastes gross to me. So
my daughter's the same way. She can't handle it. I'm used to it.
I have to have sugar, but I mean, all of the sugar replacements, all of the different kinds of sugar, like all of this stuff is so much worse than just plain sugar. And if you start sugar hoarding, go to the doctor immediately because your liver is very, very compromised.
Yeah, Gary Talbes is the guy who produced it, and he's the one that goes around and talks about it. And it's called Sugar Coated. You should watch it.
Yeah, I will. I mean, this is definitely, if anybody cannot control, public service announcement, if anybody cannot control their sugar intake, go have your liver checked out.
Okay.
That sounds like a wonderful documentary, and I'm looking forward very much.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It made an impact on me for sure as a diabetic, like I said.
Oh yeah.
You sugar load too, then, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary, crazy thing. It's like now.
Again, I'm to the point where the taste doesn't bother me because I feel like I'm getting sugar. So I'll do sugarless pudding. I'll do sugarless Jello. I'll do sugarless cookies. I'll do sugarless Cokes or Pepsi. You know, I even have dark chocolate that's got no sugar in it. It's zero sugar, but it tastes sweet. But it's
Right. Yeah. Dark
zero sugar.
over 70% is actually supposed to be good for you. And it is a good thing to have. I personally am very, very fortunate because I don't sugar load anymore because I've been able to get my liver, it's regenerating enough and I don't have cirrhosis, thank goodness, and I don't have fatty liver issues. But I had fibrosis that, I mean, my liver gave out, and when the day I died, they put me on a list for a kidney and liver transplant.
Good.
Unfortunately, I was able to avoid that, but if you cannot, I mean, now I can have like 3 gummy bears and be done, but if you cannot control that, go see a doctor, please.
Okay. Well, on that note,
Next time.
So next time, when we next convene, we'll be talking about Mr. Robert Duvall, who unfortunately we lost here recently. Well, as of this taping of this show. So yeah, we'll be talking about the life and career of Robert Duvall, and so I want to thank Rory, and I want to thank Elana for joining us as usual.
Thank you,
and
Manny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And until next time, keep watching movies.
Thank you for watching this episode of Two Guys and a Gal Talking About Movies. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell.